Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another exciting episode of T3PO Live. I am your host, Vash Sky. Today, welcome on in. Glad you are coming in over from the Pro Show. I don't know if they've entered yet. Maybe they have. Maybe they haven't. Not sure. But I know they're going to redirect over to Culture Casino's new premiere, I do believe. And that's going to be redirected over to here. So, glad to see everybody sticking with us. Glad to see everybody out there. Very, very cool. Very, very awesome. Good stuff right there. Vashua, you know? When Pro labeled me that one night, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cute. That's kind of fun. But I don't think it's going to stick around. And it has. Well, a term of endearment for sure. And, well, I have to share that endearment over to our friends, our amazing, illustrious panel today, because they make this show possible. Here we go, folks. Let's go ahead and get them on right now. It is the one, the only, the Spectre. Whatever rhymes with Spectre. It's going to be LW Ghost, Nolan Thunder, and Erika from Erika and Rep. Hello there.
Vashua fit the battle of Disney World. Disney World. Disney.
Yep, indeed.
Vashua, indeed.
Erika, you've been having some fun over there at the Pro Show. Thank you so much for coming on over. Man, it's a long streaming day for her. So, very, very cool.
Yes.
I hope there's a lot of coffee that cup can hold.
Hey,
I did 12 ounces right now.
Oh, God.
Well, fair enough.
The best part of waking up is the show in your cup.
Yes, I will have to agree with you on that. I think it is the best part of waking up right here. Well, speaking
the best part of waking up is seeing T3PO live, Vash.
Isn't that kind of what we said? Well, we're saying it now. It's the best part of waking up. T3PO live.
Muffins, cookies. Did you bring enough for the whole class?
Never.
You know this class, and you know your budget, and that would be impossible, right? So why start?
One day when we're in person, I'm just gonna load up everybody on sweets just to make up for lost time.
You're gonna make us
You can
fat,
mail order them
Erica.
from Portos to us. That would work. But
Well, guess what? I'm already there, so no hard feelings here. And hey, if you have any cookies, I will go ahead and I would love to go ahead and partake in them. Anyway, this is an interesting story coming out of here because Pro just covered it. I get it. I understand it, folks. I understand it. He came at it from a slightly different angle, and that's completely fine. He did bring up, though, this particular aspect of the story that is very interesting, but I think it gets more interesting the deeper that you dig. And I guess digging is actually relevant because we're talking about digging in to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Yes,
Can you dig
it's a gold mine. See, that's the connection right there. Anywho's, this is from Disney Parks blog. New magic coming to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Disney World. This by Mallory Hines Lidette. Over there, August 21st, 2025. Howdy, partners. Yeah, folks, keep all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train because
I want to know how you keep your feet in and your legs still out. That's the interesting part of that. The order there is a little strange. But anyway.
Well, actually, Lou, you bring up an interesting point about that because it was this ride, Big Thunder Mountain Road, at Disneyland, which is why we got hands, arms, feet, and legs. Now, obviously, that's a restriction placed on, I think, by...
They don't care about heads, do they?
Well, there was somebody who it was actually a little boy who stuck their foot out before coming into the load station, and that did not go well. So that's why it's hands, arms, feet, and legs. It's a big shame.
Was this little boy of an age where he could have read this warning? I mean, I'm just thinking like a trial lawyer, and I hate to do that because they're scum of the earth. But anyway,
that's true. Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness. In 2026, the iconic Big Thunder Mountain Railroad will reopen with new magic. Yes, it was closed for all of 2025 in order for this refurb. And today we have new details to share about what to expect the next time you take to the tracks in search of adventure. The story of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad dates back to olden times, or rather golden times, during the early days of America's first major gold rush, when Barnabas T. Bullion struck gold in the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad region. He saw a future full of riches and hustled to start the Big Thunder Big Thunder Mountain Company. However, them shiny dreams rarely come without a cost, and Bullion quickly found himself in a battle with the forces of nature and in a whole heap of trouble. One day, strange and unexplainable things started happening. Machines failed, cave-ins shut the mine down. And he talks about the story about this. And the reason why
could you scroll back to his picture for a second?
Yes.
It's very
Isn't that
scary.
like a really bad AI warp of Tony Baxter?
It is supposed to be Tony Baxter. That's what it's supposed to be.
I mean,
Why is he looking into my soul?
Is that Cane Head a hidden Mickey? It's like Mickey meets the first indie movie?
He's supposed to be like a gold baron. Is kind of
right.
the idea there. And, well, gold barons weren't exactly likable. So that's kind of...
Well, he either had to be
there.
about gold or about being the founder of Knorr Soups or something as the Bullion, Benyon... Whatever. Anyway, go on with what you were doing. I'm just a distraction as usual.
So I think the origins of this are important, as set up by Disney Parks blog, because there's one interesting aspect that they left out of this. And here's the thing. I was thinking about coming onto the panel on Pro to actually talk about this, but it's a little bit in the weeds. Well, I'll go ahead and explain it here. You see, the origins of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, or at least the backstory that Imagineers originally gave for this attraction, was that this was a mining company that was established, yes, and when they started mining, they noticed, paranormal activity. That is true. Why? Because it was built on an ancient Indian burial ground.
Oh.
That's the backstory for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, or at least that's what it had been for a period of decades now. If you see this post by Laughing Place right here, talking about the history of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, they actually talk about Big Thunder Mountain, which was also on an Indian burial ground. That explains the bad things that are happening. Wandering in Disney talks about this and how the backstory was.
They celebrated with poker games and parlor girls. When did they write that? And how does that survive today? And why don't the parlor boys get equal time?
Well,
Go
you're
back to the
saying the
previous
fact
section
that
you
it's
were in.
on top.
It literally said parlor girls.
Well, Vash, you're saying that this like curse or whatever is the thing responsible for all the bad stuff that happens these days. So being on
Yes.
top of the ancient Indian burial
go
ground,
back to where
is
you
that
just
the
were.
reason we have stories matter today? Because they're in charge of all the bad stuff?
That's a different kind
They
of curse.
removed the
Nolan, but
gold
yeah.
and celebrated with poker games and parlor girls.
That's
These would be beauty parlor girls, right? They got their hair done with all their wealth.
Are we going
That's
to
a-
see this reflected Haunted Mansion down the road? Because that would really be disappointing.
well. So
Like at
so
Disneyland?
Haunted Mansion is. I don't think there's anything too objectionable there, outside of maybe the hanging scene in the stretching room right there, which we have heard is on the chopping block. Ooh, it's
better
a death
not.
pun right there. But you can see.
Uh-oh.
Well, here they are.
So as we
marching
can see
along.
here, three beautiful people. They're super eager to get to work today. We see pickaxes and that's about as far as I know the video goes.
I'm going to Mine Train. Hi-ho.
They
Hi-ho.
dig in the mine the whole
So
day
while
through.
Vash figures that out, I guess we'll talk a bit about the real life Minecraft squad here. But no. So let's take a look at this here. So Lou, do you think that this is something that would need to be updated, or do you think that maybe
Well,
they should just leave it because it didn't hurt
Apparently,
anyone
all
for
they've
the
really
past?
done is change the light bulbs. So, because as was said on the previous show, you can't buy a drink there. So what good is it? Who vandalized your poster back there? We love Sydney Sweeney.
Oh yes, this is my wonderful. This is my We Love Sydney Sweeney sign. I'm already been a big buyer of all merchandise from American Eagle, and I guess she's figured out I have good taste, so I got a rep for my girl because she's
Well,
cool.
you got to get Baskin Robbins now too. She's promoting them, But make sure you get 2 scoops. Anyway,
Oh, that's Blue.
well,
Wait.
Oh my goodness.
let's just say she has more than 31 flavors. I think.
Vash
we get-
leaves and we just totally squirreled.
But meanwhile, back at Thunder Mountain, assuming Vash ever gets back to it, the whole point was
Yes.
they haven't done bupkis except change a few light bulbs, but they're making a major story out of it. And the point made on the pro show was they're spending almost no money on that, but they're spending money on the beak and the barrel and the Epcot bar, and because people will spend money. And
It seems like the, we'll say decorative theming elements, they're putting more into DVC bars and not as much into attractions.
Nolan, have you got any access to the clip of the inside the beak and the barrel with the little parrot running back and forth? Because it sure
No,
looks
but I
like
can find
the rocket thing in the Galaxy's Edge section, doesn't it? Running back and forth on that rail overhead.
Can I just say, I really
I-
want that little parrot. He's cute. I want it perched right here on my shoulder.
Oh, senorita.
I think that parrot's
So-
adorable.
Compared
If
to
you
all the
can
other
locate
parrots, you
that,
think
I'll
that's the best
gladly
one?
if you can locate that,
So
Lou, I'll
far.
gladly share it on screen if you can manage to find it. But I also want to give a big thank you to the chat. I see that we're getting a bunch of Culture Casino raiders from his stream he just did videos, so we really appreciate that. And we have the man, the myth, the legend. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our host, Mr. Vash Sky.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened to my computer, but it was like, "Hey, USB devices, what are those?" So
Oh, that happened to me the other day.
Well, they're haunted by parlor girls and bullion and stuff.
Right.
That's all.
This died on me all in one shot.
Oh,
No,
But,
rest in peace.
but
terrible,
Tom F.
terrible.
Tom F
Well,
gave me a lesson on what USBs to use and not use.
I'm gonna go ahead and
well, I don't
share-
know what does USB really stand for? We could make up funny acronyms. I know. I always used to say dip switch stood for diminutive and impossible to press. So,
Universal
my
Bus,
fingers are
something
bigger
or
than
another.
that,
I can't quite remember at this moment. But speaking of, well,
So anyway,
USB
back to
connectivity.
the pikers here.
Yes, the gold miners. They put out this video right here.
Gosh,
It's
are they really?
yeah, it's a little cringe for sure. There's no question about that. But I think Nolan
These are
actually
regular
mentioned
old
it
cast
before.
members, right? They're not part of entertainment. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But oh, look, a treasure chest.
Yes,
Ooh, and we opened it and we found LED light bulbs.
and we found the LEDs. Right? I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is awesome! This is amazing." Yes, it's basically just a
Well,
color
it's shape
change right
language,
here.
if nothing else.
And there was the implementation of rainbows, which
And I thought it was funny that Miss PR in her article had to explain to us the difference between a stalagmite and a stalactite.
yes.
So,
More like lighting language.
well,
Lighting language.
I would have used another word, but I'm not.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
you notice I avoided all the obvious jokes one could make about being mite and tight. But I just avoid those things because I'm a classier guy than that.
Just good.
Wait, no, so Rumble says we're not welcome. Come ride our new ride on which the very elements say you're not welcome. I see. Well, that makes... Boy, I wonder where she got her PR degree. Cracker Barrel University?
Maybe. I don't know. It could be, perhaps.
And
Not
now we
sure.
take us to a path that you can't get to anymore. To look
Right.
at something that you can't see from there anymore. And that
Yes.
soon will be torn down anymore. And did you see they had a problem? It rained and it filled back in the river to some degree. So the birds could come back and eat the remaining fish and other denizens of the deep.
Well, that was yeah. Well,
Yeah,
okay.
anyway.
I see.
Anyway, so
But I want to go ahead and bring up the fact that it is okay. It's just lights, right? That's well established. But it's the color of those lights that have a little bit, a couple people going like, "Whoa, rainbows and Big Thunder." Yes. Why? Because what all goes back to the Rainbow Caverns. The Rainbow
yeah, of
Caverns.
course. They've gone
being
all this.
mine-
How many years now? Since 55, right? Just to give us something we've always had.
Yeah, so Nature's Wonderland featuring the Rainbow Caverns. I thought it was like 57 or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Not entirely sure anyway. And it lasted all the way until like what, 70,
Well, until they put Big Thunder.
probably, yeah, 5, something like that, 76, until they put Big Thunder in. Yeah, you're exactly correct. And the Mine Train of Nature's Wonderland was a very cool attraction. The load unload area basically sat where Big Thunder sits today at Disneyland, and it had this amazing effect, by the way, in which people saw these. It was in this interior sequence in this attraction, and you had stalactites, stalagmites, everything that you actually see on the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad attraction. But in this case, you actually slowly wandered through, and there were these pools of paint, actual paint, and they reacted to the black light very strongly.
We should explain to the young ones. This is when black light was a wholly new idea.
It's a very good point.
It was a big deal, this ride, because oh my
Big.
God, look, it glows in the dark.
Big
Sounds
deal.
progressive.
And
why.
the thing that was super impressive, Nolan, about this was that there was a section in which all of these various colors of paint, mind you, all came together and actually fell down together in a combined waterfall.
With music
cool.
like
Wow.
a chorus of the gods singing, as I remember. It was all this organ and choral music. Those were the days.
Now, this is during the work lights, but there has been no footage, really good footage anyway, showing this effect right here. But from what everybody has ever said, whoever saw it, it was absolutely fantastic. And
I saw it. It was
that's
gorgeous. It was brilliant. It was one of the highlights of your trip to Disneyland. Truly,
oh man,
I mean it. I'm dead serious. It was spectacular.
I could have. Man, I would love to see it, Lou. I would love to see this effect because I just heard some extraordinary things. And the line from Walt Disney where he says, "It's kind of fun to do the impossible," it was from this sequence right here because he was told, along with Claude Coates, that attempting to mix these paint colors in such a way and preserve those colors was going to be impossible, because the splash and splatter, you get a little bit of red here, a little bit of green there. Well, now you have basically brown at a certain point. And so he was like, oh, it's not going to last more than a week. But they were able to, I think, through
by making them different densities or something like that.
Yeah, they were able to keep the splatter down through like things like hair or like a fishing rod and so forth. I mean, it was this very ingenious construction to get it so that these splatters didn't actually go in different pools. But they created these amazing effects, and that's when Walt Disney said, yeah, it's kind of fun to do the impossible. Amazing stuff right here, but all of that is why they're doing this, right? It's all a reference to the rainbow caverns, and that's why rainbows are incorporated into this. Now, maybe they want to make a statement about this today. You just can't put it past them. And they are definitely making a statement by leaving out the burial ground nature of the backstory for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Oh, exactly. We can't blame those poor, innocent, totally peaceful, never killed each other before we got there folks. Yes, indeed, right there. And we are willing to believe in unholy ghosts, but not in a holy one of a different kind. Right. How that works, isn't it?
I don't want to walk on anyone here, but that's just so frustrating to me, because anytime you have like the legend of like a ghost story or a curse or something, usually those things originate from, I don't know, problematic ideas to begin with, someone who passed away too soon, maybe a tragic murder or something like that. Or maybe you put something on, say, a burial ground, and people, like the ancestors, aren't too happy about it. I don't think I've ever seen a ghost movie that ended with, yeah, we definitely should have put our fancy rich person house on this grave site of whatever have you. So the fact that they could see this as problematic is just ridiculous, because at that point you might as well eliminate ghosts from any portion of the park.
Yeah. Well,
basically,
they'll do that eventually.
Yeah, and
except it'll be Ghost with a trademark and say Disney's Ghost,
and
then they can do it because it's theirs.
Exactly. There you go.
And then they'll sue DC over Great Caesar's Ghost and Perry White, right?
Indeed. But there's been this constant, and here's the explosion scene right here from.
I see. So they basically added a lot of sparklies to the fuses, huh? Because it wasn't scary enough before. It was just too tame.
This is for.
It was going to fall on you.
Yeah, that was for Disneyland, and that version of Big Thunder, and Disneyland Paris has a similar version as well. We don't know yet if Walt Disney World is going to get that same treatment for their previously earthquake scene.
What did it cost?
Oh wow,
more than $1.50? Not good.
Yes, exactly. More money than they want to spend.
Now, if you can turn it into the fountains dispensing a neutral grain spirits and imitation fruit juice cocktail for $25 as you drive by, you stick your mug out, then maybe we'll consider it.
And I thought Pro made an excellent point right here when he compared this to and the LEDs that Big Thunder is getting to what is Beacon Barrel. Because if you've not seen any footage from Beacon Barrel, I mean, it looks. I will say,
seen footage from it. You're the one.
It's genuinely spectacular. Like it looks really,
the first
really
thing
good.
I think is I'm so glad they didn't throw everything away from the Adventurers Club, because I see lots of things I recognize in there, or at least recreations of them.
You can see the
and
concept.
Again, my big question, Vash, is that parrot running back and forth on that rail awfully damn similar to the rocket thing in Galaxy's Edge, up there on the rail above and switching back and forth? Is it a reskin?
You mean the rocket for Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's almost the same mechanism. It's very, very similar. A lot of people were making those comparisons actually to Rocket Raccoon right there, and I believe BB-8 does something similar. But you can see right here, they did bring the concept art to life.
I just want to snuggle him. He's cute.
Yes, this is such a vibe. I love it.
It
It's
is
like
such a vibe.
Super Red Lobster.
Super Red Lobster.
Sounds like.
I mean, Look, you see the lighting and those you see the lightning effect
Like they're
actually
being
going
hit by
off right
lightning
there.
down there at the bar. Yeah. So let's touch
happens
my
every
neighbor and make sure they
window.
get shocked too. Is the motivation behind
So
this?
is the ship like moving or something? Like you're on a ship? Is that the whole idea?
I think it's lightning and mystical forces. You know. And
Yeah, I think they may have
okay.
made a bar on a desert island from ship parts, but yeah, I think that's kind of what's going on right there. Anywho's,
You notice it a bit more with the dank lighting, but like also the windows. It looks like a skull almost. Like it's a very subtle thing you
Yeah,
might not
the
notice at
bar.
first, but it's charming.
yeah,
And
Well,
you
of
even
course,
got
the
a pirate
windows
hat at the top.
with storm and rain outside is a take from the Tiki Room, for God's sakes, when they used to blow a fan on some tinsel and call it rain, and it worked.
it's very
Well,
true.
the original Tiki Room effects, you know.
I guess what's frustrating about this is that Tiki Room was absolutely incredible, amazing. Even that was back in 1963 when that actually opened right there. Now that was a paid admission at that time, which
And it
was,
was-
very, very interesting.
It was originally going to be a restaurant. Then they said, maybe we don't want all those birds sitting over tables where people are eating.
Right.
Literally. So
That's true. I just get a little
absolutely
bit.
true, Erica. That was the thought.
That was the thought.
Um,
I get disheartened when I see something like this, in which you can just tell the Imagineers that we're having a fun time. So much care, so much love, so much attention to detail, put imbued into every single.
There's no,
facet
by the
of
way,
this
no
experience.
truth to the rumor that they bought a lot of that junk from Cracker Barrel, who are taking it out of their stores.
That's true. But when you see something like
Wow.
this, and then you see something like Big Thunder only getting basically LEDs, it's kind of like, there's a disparity here. I think I know why that is. But Erica, you were going to say?
Oh,
How
nothing,
much
I
are the
was
drinks
just
in there, let alone the tentacles?
Oh,
$20, $25?
you're anywhere between 15 to 20, I would say, probably.
And you can have, what, 2 max or something like that? And a tentacle. You know, we were doing all that computation last night on the Pro Show about this family of 5 and how much it was costing them to go to Animal Kingdom, buy the ride and all that. If they were adults and they all went here and they ate and drank the max, I guarantee you it's more. For an hour and a half max or 75 minutes or something crazy like that after they kick you out and bring in somebody else. So, value is as value does.
Value is as value does, indeed. When I see the focus being placed so heavily on bars and alcohol and we're getting 3 bars in a row. This is number 2, right? The first one was Geo82 back in Epcot right there, the first 21 and older space ever to be in a theme park at Walt Disney World. Then you have this, and you're going to have the Grand Flow bar pretty shortly here.
Right. Which there were no bars there before.
Yes, that's going to be the
exactly.
second
What we
bar.
really needed was another place to sell drinks there instead of bird cages and prettiness and piano
That's very
playing.
true. I just and then you see the Haunted Mansion parlor right on the Disney Treasure, and they just go.
Well, the question is, at what point does I can drink here? I don't have to go to Epcot to get drunk. At what point do they cannibalize themselves? I don't know, and I don't think it's anywhere near that yet. But sooner or later, there will be nothing special about being able to drink because you'll be able to drink everywhere.
Oh,
Lou, I think
that's
they're
good.
trying to think.
Mhm.
Lou, I think they're trying to think long-term solutions here. If we're at a state now where they're already deeming about everything in the park as, problematic, any sort of curse or
Whatever that
ghost,
word
whatever,
means.
I think they're trying to replace them with more okay type entities they're okay with having in their park. Like if they have ghosts that passed away from, say, alcohol poisoning from the amount of drinks at this park, then that might be a better replacement in their eyes.
No, because I would tell people not to drink so much.
They want people.
They want people to die with a smile on their face from drinking crappy drinks for too much money.
It's already implied.
Yes, well.
I
Well,
think they
that's
also
why
want
I
people
look
to
at-
go bar hopping.
But
If the more themed,
yeah.
more themed bars they have, and with the transportation they have there, people are going to be. It'll be drinking around Disney World. It'll be
Correct.
park hopping, but bar hopping, you know, at Disney, or park bar hopping. I don't know.
And the
Play on
monorail
words.
going to the various hotels and getting drunk at each one. And of course, that originated at Disneyland when they built what they called the monorail club car up there right next to the hotel station. And in those days, one parent would keep the kid while the other one went out to throw back a couple, and then they swapped because you could get back and forth with a handstand. But those were the days. Oh, look, a mule. Boy, nobody's drinking mules anymore. Even with Aztec thumb holders. Does that look appetizing to anybody? Does that particular dish look appetizing to anyone?
Hey, I could make that.
It looks like an English muffin taco, right?
It does.
A scone
It's supposed to be a
queso
corn cake,
fresco.
apparently, but it looks like plastic.
Yeah.
Well, is there when this was whatever it was before, and I honestly don't remember, was there a big kitchen serving it, or did it share with two other outlets, or what was the story?
That's the thing. I don't think it had a kitchen, Lou, and I can't remember what this
So
was.
they're making
before.
this
Was it
all
like
up
a store or
somewhere
something?
behind the scenes and shipping it over to this by Utilidor or something, right?
Probably just a food prep area, not really a kitchen. So
Boom,
more like
right there.
semi-kitchen.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's similar to like what is it? Oga's Cantina, right? Oga's Cantina does not have a kitchen, so they have like charcuterie boards and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but nothing.
They're probably all
actual.
pre-done, wrapped,
Right.
put away in a fridge, and they just unwrap them and serve them. They're already like done.
Yummy! Can't wait for that. Can't
Because
wait.
by
Who knows how long
golly,
it's been sitting there.
you know what I like better than a good octopus tentacle with my theme park experience? One that's been sitting in a fridge for 48 hours. Because it gives it a certain shape language that I really appreciate.
Well, you said it, Lou. Here we go.
And so what we've tried to do is really bring that shape language from the architecture.
But like what we love to talk about at WDI is shape language. And we often refer to shape language.
There's such iconic shape language in Spaceship Reverie Attraction. We really wanted to make sure that we fused to that throughout the space.
You know,
Shape language.
somewhere Buckminster Fuller's lawyers up in heaven are saying, damn it, why didn't we get a longer copyright? We could have sued these bastards for a fortune.
Oh
Of course,
man.
we've never seen that before. Hello, Adventurers Club.
Yes, indeed. Lou is on fire right now. Look
The
at
fun
this.
part, of course, about sinking ship effects was the one at the Treasure Island Lagoon, because they'd go down standing at attention proudly like good English jack tars and submerge. And the show would be over, and they'd be down there sucking on oxygen hoses. And when the ship came back up to reset for the next show, they were still standing in the same position. It was a great gag.
That is pretty funny. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty great right there. What's also pretty great, Mark Fields coming in here with the
Thank you.
199.
Thank you so much.
Positive vibes to you all. Thank you so
Can't
much.
get
Positive
enough of
vibes to
those.
you. Hopefully you're enjoying the
We
show.
love you,
right here.
Mark.
Absolutely, man. This is really something right here. I just, there's a lot of attention to detail here, just like there is in Oga's Cantina and the Haunted Mansion Parlor, Trader Sam's, and everywhere else. But I'm really getting frustrated where that's the only place where detail is actually attended
Unless
to.
it's in Japan or Abu Dhabi,
All right, exactly.
where
It's
they
like,
pay for it.
come on,
Ash, I'm in
guys.
a
Like,
state of
Go ahead.
shock. Like that mermaid you just showed on screen, like it was implied that her back was bare. Like they didn't give her like a turtleneck or something, for crying out loud. Like Disney, I'm
Well, if
shocked.
they had to cut open a turtle to do it, that would be off-putting for the kiddies. So,
that's no good.
anyway,
But yeah, they had to give Jessica Rabbit a trench coat.
Don't remind me, Erica. Don't
Jeez.
remind me. Oh, it's so bad. It's so
who
terrible.
wants the redhead in a dress from The Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah, right.
But,
Hate it.
beast
Hate it.
unbearable.
Hate it. Yeah, that's the other detail that they've
Oh.
given attention to, unfortunately. Go ahead, Erica.
Overall, I think the popularity of this is eventually going to die, because just like Olga's Cantina. It's
Just
going to
like
lose.
the one at Spaceship Earth.
Oh,
It was
it's
hugely hot
yeah.
at the beginning.
because it's so expensive, and then you can only fit so many people in there. And kids, like their attention spans are really short, and you're not really giving them much. That menu. Do you know any kid that's going to eat anything that's on that menu?
Oh, I bet they got a kids menu too, but I don't think they're inviting kids, are they? Or are they?
They're putting it out there for families.
Okay. Well,
And
I
supposedly
just think the
they've got like
vast crowds at the
non-alcoholic.
beginning will be everybody with a website and an Instagram account and a
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly. Yeah. But
Well,
I mean, in the
what
long
is her
term,
problem? Oh yeah. Why does she have
I
that
think in
strange
the
look on her face? Did she get a toxic tentacle or something? I mean, God, that was weird.
It's going for a video game
Plunderer's
aesthetic
Punch.
here for
It's
the
a video
presentation.
game.
By the way, is
Video game
Plunder, is that like an endorsement of rioters and cities? And they're plunderers.
I don't know if they call them plunderers. They call them peaceful protests, Lou. Go and Shogi with the $5. Given what we now know about octopi, it's an insult to their intelligence to serve them in a failed cup of regurgitated gazpacho. Interesting.
Is there such a thing as a successful cup of regurgitated gazpacho? Go and Shogi? I don't know. I mean, what if they'd succeeded in one? Is that worse or better? I don't know.
I'm
The
even more
Cursed
just,
Treasure.
like grossed out by this.
You've
now.
seen the
I
Cursed
went for-
Treasure. You know where it be hidden. Pay up and you can have some.
Yep. Indeed. Oh boy, it
Look,
is really
beer
something
in a
right here.
mug. Oh my God, they're actually serving beer in a mug.
So is
all of-
one non-alcoholic? Is that going to compete with butterbeer?
No, I don't think so.
And look,
It wishes it was butterbeer.
it's not going to be butterbeer. Nothing.
By the
Nothing
way, you'll
beats a
notice
butterbeer.
Universal, God bless them, is not serving blasted butterbeer with a little shot in it, are they? Anywhere.
That's true.
So
See,
they know
Wizard
how to
wrote-
keep things separate, right? Hey, Wiz.
She was there in the chat. He can back me up here. Nothing beats a great cold butterbeer, especially on one of those hot Orlando or Southern California.
Oh, now you're
days,
saying a
that's for
cold
sure.
liquid one or those frozen things that are butterbeer?
Well,
I mean, I haven't tried any of them, so I don't know. But
I was living it up to
I haven't
interpretation,
liked it.
Lou. But if you had to, press me, the frozen ones are actually better. At least in my opinion. That's just me.
that's what I would think.
That is for sure. Now, going to switch gears here just a little
good.
bit away from Beacon Barrel because, hey, look, it looks awesome. It looks fantastic. It hasn't opened completely yet. It opens, I believe, August 29th. And I think they had their IT issues worked out to which people can actually make reservations for that Pirates themed bar. So when that opens, we'll definitely give you an update on operations because I think that's going to be interesting as well.
I just
But,
hope the shape language lady is there to say, our language. That's what we do in Imagineering.
Just the shape language. Oh boy, that is for sure. Well, speaking of operations, we've seen a bit of an interesting trend in the theme park community when it comes to operations, specifically hours of operation and event schedules. Because, we had a slew of news yesterday, I do believe, talking about, featuring events that were actually canceled. What do I mean? I mean this. This is Five Fires here, the Cali Bay, over there on Twitter. Wednesdays got removed from Scary Farm ticket calendar. Yes, Wednesdays were available at Scary Farm, and now they're gone. That's very strange, very weird. But hey, you know what? Maybe it's just not Scary Farm. Well, until you get to this. This is from Park Journey right here. As a follow-up to this, Fright Fest at Magic Kingdom has also had their days reduced and have canceled Thursday nights below the current calendar and dates from press release we received on August 11th. Okay, well, that's weird. That's super bizarre to get rid of Thursdays, at least for Fright Fest right there, Magic Mountain in Southern California. And now at Disneyland, they will be pulling back their hours from midnight to 11 p.m. And that is, as far as the calendar goes, it's for the foreseeable future. I believe the calendar goes all the way until like October 7th or something like that. And it's all 11 p.m. closings. Now, what's very unusual about that, and people in Orlando might not be familiar with this, but usually the park closes at midnight. And that's kind of a standard thing, especially as you get into the kind of fall and holiday times of the year.
Are they going to cut back on the parades and Fantasmic and stuff, or just move them earlier, or what?
I think if Paint the Night's showing, that might be the last form of entertainment that you actually have in the park before it actually closes. You can see right here, this is it's kind of hard to get like park hours for like previous days that have already passed, but Mouse Planet has done a fantastic job for years, by the way, posting the entire calendar and each one of their weekly updates. And so I went back to a September 9th, 2024 update in order to compare the hours for this time of year versus 2025, right? Just trying to compare the two and see whether or not they went to 11 previously, like they did this year. And you can see right here, this is 9/9, for example, closed at midnight. You can see 9/18, closed at midnight. You can see 9/25, closes at midnight. Every single one of these days closes at midnight, and that goes into October. Now, October is very interesting because it starts out closing at midnight, just like we had in September, but then it does actually get reduced to 11 p.m., but only on the weekdays. And then right back when you get to a Friday or Saturday, it goes right back to midnight. Versus if we look in today's calendar for Disneyland Resort, you can see right here, it's midnight right now, but then, it gets to 11 p.m. If we extend this out right here and change the fields to a random week in September, like we saw back in the Mouse Planet update, you can see right here, it's all 11 throughout the week, and that just goes on and on and on all the way until, let's see, October 7th is the last date, 11 p.m., 11 p.m. Doesn't matter whether it's a weekday or weekend, it's all 11. So we're seeing reductions in hours, we're seeing cancellations in days for specific events. Nolan, what the heck's going on here? What is going on with the theme park industry, especially around this, frightful time of year?
These companies so desperately want to be Walmart. They want to give the bare minimum with no guest satisfaction and reduce their hours to basically, we used to be, hey, you had a little bit of luxury. You could do your shopping later in the day. We actually cared a bit more about guest satisfaction. Now it's, we got to put out the bare minimum. We don't want to pay our staff very much. We want to be able to make up for, some rough economy, and the money's not falling in from, 12 different places anymore. They're trying to cut their costs where they can. And the number one way they want to do it is like, hey, we're not going to get a massive media pushback if we reduce our nighttime hours as opposed to, big embarrassing event happens during the daytime. So, you know what? Who cares? It doesn't matter anymore. We just need to make sure we're cutting the costs and hitting these numbers. And it just shows how the Disney difference is as dead as the ghost in the Haunted Mansion. This is sad. It's pathetic. And for something like the Halloween events, which are so huge to all these different theme parks, whether it be, Universal, Kings Island, Six Flags, whatever have you, not to mention, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween is an event that, despite all the flack we give them, has routinely been, a hard to get in event, extremely popular, massive crowds, people singing its praises. And yet they're pulling stuff like this, reducing hours at a time where of all the months throughout the year, except for New Year's Eve, that's the month you'd be wanting to go to Disney at nighttime. This is absolutely ridiculous. I won't even pretend to know their spreadsheet or the numbers are going off of, but at some point you just have to say, this is pathetic.
We're ignoring another part of this story, if I may say so. That bit where they told hotel guests that instead of getting in an hour early, they were going to give them one magic fast pass hoo-ha ticket.
Right.
That's about shortening shifts.
Yep.
To let everybody in early, you got to have all the bodies there. To give them an extra pass costs you nothing. It costs you, and it might even improve your sale of other passes. People say, this is kind of neat. How much is it to buy it for everything?
And for people,
they're cutting them out of both ends of the day. And if we saw a master work schedule somewhere of how long the shifts run and how early they have to check in and all the rest of that stuff, I think we'd find This is
So-
what it's about.
So for one second, Erica, I'm going to go ahead and throw it to you because I think this is very, very relevant. And Lou, yeah, I'm glad you brought this up because that was going to be the place I was going next here, right here. If people aren't familiar, early entry at Disneyland Resort, starting in January, will effectively be canceled outright. Okay, previously it was made available to guests staying in Good Neighbor hotels, the 3 resort hotels on Disney property at Disneyland, and also multi-day park hopper tickets. After the pandemic, that was a whole different story. And instead of an hour at either park, it was actually reduced to 30 minutes. But at first, it was both parks combined. Then they went to the either Disneyland schedule or DCA schedule, alternative days, basically. Now they're saying, we're going to get rid of that entirely. That 30-minute extra that you used to get in Disneyland in front of everybody else, if you were staying at a deluxe resort, or in this case, the only resort type at Disneyland Resort, and they marked off the multi-day ticket guests and also the Good Neighbor Hotel, so they just limited it to on-property stays. If you are staying on property for plus $500, because Pixar Place Hotel, if you want to stay there, it's at least $400, $500, $600. Grand Californian, you're going to be spending at least probably like $700 to stay at that resort, and so forth. That one perk that you used to get, which was 30 minutes early into Disneyland, they're going to remove that. What are they going to give you? They're going to give you a single one Lightning Lane entry per guest on that reservation for the entire stay. Not per day, the entire stay. And that's not a single pass Lightning Lane. That is a single Lightning Lane entry that you would get, like, for example, from a multi Lightning Lane pass. You don't get all the attractions. You're only going to get one of those, one time for your entire stay.
Kit Kat's making a good point down there. 30 minutes that used to be an hour. And let's consider this.
Yes.
That was every day of your stay, right?
And that was every day of your stay.
So,
it would
what if
alternate between Disneyland
What if
and
you're at
DCA.
Disneyland and you've come from somewhere else and it's your last day and you have intentionally booked, a plane home or get on the freeway before rush hour for mid-afternoon, figuring, but I'll have an extra hour in the morning. Not so fast, Magic Musketeer. It whittles away at the value.
Yes, and Erica, this is what I'm going to throw to you right here. When you look at the reduction of hours for Disneyland, I think Lou brought it up best. They're shortening it on the evening hours, and they're shortening it on the morning hours because there would be a slew of attractions actually open at Disneyland if you were able to get in there early entry. You can see right here, Alice in Wonderland, Astro Orbiter, Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, Disneyland Monterey. All those would be available to you if you took advantage of that 30-minute early entry right here. And that's all going away as well. So you're just going to have, 8 to 11 or 9 to 11 or whatever the hours are actually going to be. Is this a labor savings measure? Is this a reaction to the market and the consumer base? Maybe they're going home early. Maybe they're not staying as long. Maybe they're not opting for these, extra hours events like Fright Fest or Not Scary Farm. What do you think?
Well, for Disney alone, I was wondering how they were going to continue because they can't raise their prices anymore. They know this. It's like Valiant Renegade pointed out that rubber band is so tight. It's just it's ready to snap. If anything, I think it's starting to fray and it's quickly going to snap. So I think this is in part what the answer I was kind of looking for was instead of raising prices for, in-park spending per capita, as they call it, we'll just scale back hours. We'll scale back benefits to save money. But it seems like those decisions are always only good in the short term. They don't really do much in the long term. So what are they going to do 6 to 9 months from now? I guess layoffs again, another...
Charge
but
more for less is the answer.
I think, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious as to how the earnings call will go in November. But I don't know if there's going to be enough.
Well, but this
Well, this
helps the
doesn't start till
earnings call 'cause
January, right?
it cuts the operating expenses.
Yeah, so the cuts to early entry don't start until January. That's correct. And
Yeah, I
I
was
do
gonna say
agree
till
with you.
January.
That price elasticity that VR was talking about right there, they're on
Yeah.
basically the top end right there. They really can't
Yeah.
charge anymore. In fact, in fact, they whenever they discount, they're actually at the bottom end as well. They really can't give away the product
Yeah.
any more than they already are. So where do you see those big operating earnings increases or operating income increases? You can only cut expenses, and that's how you
Yeah.
maximize revenue. Go ahead.
I mean, that's how you do your household finances. You know, that's pretty much what any household would do. But it sounds like this is also happening in other theme parks. Is that what you're pointing out, Vash? That
Yeah.
this is also kind of happening with like Six Flags and Knott's Berry.
Right. I'm making the point to
Kinda
include these
interesting.
because
Weekdays.
is it
Are they struggling too, like Disney is, or are they? I mean, is it California's economy that's maybe forcing them? I don't know what's going on in California that's making them have to pinch pennies like that.
Ask
Because
the CEO of Bed Bath and Beyond. Ask the CEO of Playboy. Ask the CEO
you're not.
of all these
Yeah,
companies that are leaving.
You're not hearing much with the rest of the theme park industry in the rest of the U.S. Are they doing, like
Well,
SeaWorld?
you are in
Well,
your
they have
Erika.
less competition if they're not in Orlando or LA. But
I'll-
still,
If I could,
I'll go ahead and clarify, Nolan, and then I'll go throw it to you because I see Wizard chiming in here. Local amusement
That's what I was
parks,
gonna
regional
say.
amusement parks are on the whole not doing very well. We still haven't
Okay.
recovered from at 2019 levels when it comes to visitation and all of that, especially spending. People are much more choosy about how they spend. And Six Flags' recent earnings call just came out, and it was a real downer.
Bad.
Nolan, go
they
ahead, take it
fired
away.
the boss.
oh no, Wizard said exactly what I was going to chime into. The whole Six Flags point. Like ever since the merger, things have just gotten seemed like progressively worse for the companies as a whole. And now we don't just have Six Flags worrying about all that. We have the Cedar Fair parks worrying about that on top of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think
Yeah.
no financial advice here, but I think that there are layoffs imminent for
But
that chain, and it's not going to be pretty.
Oh, Nolan, is it that it suddenly got worse, or that they're finally admitting what they knew all along, which is we got to make some changes?
Probably a bit of both.
We covered a story on that park place recently about Matt Weemet, and Matt Weemet used to be the CEO of Cedar Fair when he made his move from Disney. Actually, he ran Disneyland Resort for a number of years and really restored Disneyland Resort to a place where it just had not been in previous years. Following the Paul Pressler and Cynthia Harris era, it was atrocious how the parks were run. And Matt Weemet really restored the standards and really raised morale in a big way, all leading up to the 50th anniversary. And then he made his way out, made his way to Cedar Fair, in which he became the CEO, and I think operated that chain very effectively. When he was I think he posted on his LinkedIn profile about how he couldn't really endorse what the current management at Cedar Fair, or now Six Flags, was actually doing. He just didn't agree with the 10% reduction of staff, a lot of long-term talent that was now going to be axed from the company, as announced by Six Flags some quarters ago. And I guess, you have Robert Zimmerman talking about the CEO of Six Flags now going to be exiting himself, how they were going to be selling land and assets around these parks in order to make up for some budgetary shortfalls that they had. Remember, Six Flags they had a lot of debt coming into that deal, so they had to overcome that, especially if they want to create new attractions and rides to get people to come in. And I believe they also revealed that I think it was 15 of their parks provided them, I thought it was 90% of their overall revenue. Think about it. That's a chain that has what, 40 parks or something like that?
40, 50, yeah.
I-
That's their Orlando. Those parks that actually make money.
Right. But you can't have 40 parks and only have 15 of them, make up 90% of your overall revenue. That's insane.
Especially since very few of them are in the heart of downtown. Most of them are in the burbs, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And
Well,
that
that's
that
true.
means that selling the land to developers who want to provide people with housing to help their egress from the mid-city in the light of the work-at-home trend, that land is 10 times more valuable than whenever it was they bought it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the land, sure. I mean, you definitely have some liquidity that could be found there, but that's a one-time thing, and you're basically selling the future to do it. And when you talk about only 15 of those parks, I mean, that almost ensures they're going to be closing more. And I don't know what that's going to look like, but man, that's scary. Go ahead.
The question, though, Vash, is can you be a successful company with 15 money-making parks? And the answer is hell yes. It's the other ones that are dragging you down. It's the size that's dragging your operating expenses down and your management expenses. So, in the long run, it's a good move. In the short run, it's painful. And better to do it all at once. Look at Paramount is announcing layoffs, and they're saying we're not going to do it in dribs and drabs like everybody else is doing. We're going to lay off 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people all at once, get it over with, and move on. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it if you're going to do it.
So what about Knott's Berry Farm? What is it that they're up against? Like, why are they cutting back?
So,
It's
Knott's Berry Farm, the problem is it was part of the Cedar Fair chain, now part of the Six
Oh, it
Flags
was?
chain.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
they bought it.
I thought they were independent. I didn't know they were part
Way
of
back,
either
they
or.
were, but
They-
no,
they-
they
Yeah, when they were part of the Knott family, they were, and it's kind of interesting because Disney actually came to them and said, "Hey, let's go ahead and sell Knott's to us." And I think Michael Eisner really did want to make it the second gate for Disneyland Resort because a lot of locals actually felt that was kind of the de facto second gate anyway. But they declined, and they eventually sold to Cedar Fair. And Cedar Fair had been making, a few investments in the I would say enthusiast space. I'd say enthusiast as in roller coasters and everything else. But they go ahead.
You also have to remember that when Knott's was going on all cylinders, Beach Boulevard became International Drive.
Right.
You had the medieval times, and you had the alligator farm, and you had the wax museum, and you had restaurants and cheap motels, everything from the freeway down to Knott's. And even below it, on the way through Garbage Grove. Sorry, but that's what people call it down there.
Oh, I've never heard Garbage Grove before.
No? God, where you
That's
been?
really
That's what
something.
people who live there call it. But
You see a little bit of Knott's
well,
on the
they're
screen
talking
right
about
now.
the part south of Disneyland where, shall we say, the what was the word? The parlor girls parade their stuff out there on the streets down there in Garbage Grove. Anyway. My point is, it generated a neighborhood of revenue beyond its borders when it was winning. When it starts to lose, and of course, Knott's never had the investment in hotels and other restaurants outside the park that Disney and all the rest do, even Dollywood does. So,
Yeah.
it's good. We're going to have a leaner machine someday, 5-10 years down the road, with standout regional, independent, or smaller chain parks. So it's no different than the depression of downtown commercial real estate. When people aren't going into the office, they're also not getting their dry cleaning done downtown, or having lunch downtown, or stopping at the supermarket downtown, or anything else. They're not paying for parking downtown. So there's all those ancillary industries that have problems. And that was the way the world was going anyway, but COVID absolutely accelerated it to a degree that nobody was looking for and nobody was expecting.
Well, that's a fair point. Erika, I know you're dying to say something, and then we have a super chat right after you. Please go ahead.
It just sounds like multiple things compounding from
Yeah.
like going back to the pandemic to inflation and these and people just really tightening. And we still are. We haven't gotten out of that, people tightening the wallet. The housing market, depending on where you're at around the US, is popping in some areas because it's just been so stagnant. So I feel like this whole like the ramifications of inflation and people really tightening how they spend, it's going to be like this for years to come. This isn't going to, as much as the decisions being made in DC, I know they're doing the best that they can, and they've been given a lot to try to correct course, but I think there's been such a financial devastation across the United States that we're just not going to see a lot of recovery. Maybe
Not for
even
4 or 5 years anyway, until all these new plants get built
and
and people
maybe
actually have regular jobs.
yeah, and maybe longer than that. I mean, right now the decisions are being made, but like the implementation, like the application and the consequence of the applications hasn't come on scene yet. So in the meantime, we're kind of in limbo to see all this come to fruition, and see where the entire economy, from theme parks to the entire vacation industry, cruise lines,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
How we spend money even going to the movies, we're really tight. People are still poor manning it right now with poor man's dinners. We're still kind of there.
Well, I heard Pro
and
actually
it's
bring
a
up the fact that
psychological barrier, even more than a financial one. And I'll tell you an example. Every once in a while, I'm lazy and I don't feel like cooking, and I'll go on what you call a DoorDash, and I'll say, okay, well, I could get a sandwich from here and some chips and some whatever. And then when I'm about to check out, I see that I'm paying how much? $25, $30 for a submarine sandwich and a bag of chips? I can afford it. But on a kind of a moral basis, I turn it off. I just say, that's insane. And then they're making a suggested tip for the driver of $6, $7, $8. And good for them. They got to earn a living too. But give me a break, man. There's a barrier. And that's why stories like that one we talked about last night about the family spending $1,500 for a day, those stories resonate out there with people who weren't even thinking of going. But when somebody says, well, I don't know, you want to go again? Not at $1,500 a day, I don't. There's just a built-in resistance to that kind of thing. And what's their answer? Cut back the hours and charge more money.
Well, and there, I would say there's also a value and a quality part of this too, because people with not a lot of money aren't going to pay for crap, and I think that's what's happening in the box office, right? Variety,
or for danger.
Reach $4
what
billion
about all the maintenance
milestone?
things? I'm going to pay all that money so I can have shingles fall on my head.
That's a very good
seriously,
point.
And that's the flip side of this business of shortening hours, is that they're not spending it on maintenance either.
That's a very good point. And what is it? Theme Park Wizard actually comes in here saying, "Hey, listen, Universal Orlando Resort actually, Comcast as a whole, but they had a 20% year-over-year increase for their theme park division, and they absolutely did, and that was on the backs of Epic Universe. So people will go." But you have to give them something to go to. And that's why I thought, okay, well, the Epic Universe opening was always a surefire bet, because even if you open in a down economy or an up economy, doesn't matter. People will still go if it's really, really good.
And the
and
way
we've seen that.
they did it was so brilliant, making you buy a 3-day ticket, one of which was that. So you had to try the other parks too.
Right.
I still say most of the people coming to see Epic, because of all the hype and publicity, have never been to Studios or Islands of Adventure either. And now they're like, where has this all been my life? Back when I was a captive audience, thanks to Magical Express, back when I got perks for staying at the Disney hotels, back when, I didn't even know that. I knew it was there intellectually, but what did I care? I was a Disney person. Well, guess what? Suddenly the pitch to buy a condo timeshare goes away. Suddenly the pitch to go there at all, as opposed to the cruise ships, goes away. It all ripples through. It all ripples through. And the only part of the company that's going to be making money the next 5 years is the money being paid by the Japanese and the Arabs to build them a park of a first-class quality.
That's a fair point right there. That's a really good point. And look, what did Disney do in the interim when Epic Universe was opening up? They did absolutely nothing. And for in a large part, Cedar Fair and Six Flags, they didn't really do anything either. Now, Cedar Fair, as theme park wizard beautifully pointed out right there, they were doing much better than Six Flags coming into this arrangement. They were, but if you had been studying their earnings calls very closely, even they were kind of saying market's slowing down just a little bit, and I think that was reflected in their statements from quarter to quarter right there. Look, I think that this market right here is still very much viable, and I think it will get better as time goes on. At least the big two, I think, you have all the upside in the world if, in fact, you make smart investments. But at the same time, I do think we're starting to see just a little bit of an industry trend in which, well, maybe Generation Z or maybe Alpha, maybe not as theme park hyped as maybe the millennials and the previous generations before. And that might affect some things. I'm not sure. Go ahead, Erika.
I'm thinking, and this might derail the conversation a little bit because theme park wizard brought up a good point. I think I just forgotten how Universal Orlando was up 20%. Yeah, on that note, people are willing to spend money when they know they're getting value for their dollar. Mm-hmm. Now, if you also, I don't know what California's theme parks attendance statistics are, in terms of if they're any better or less than what Disney World is experiencing in Orlando. But one thing about Florida is there's so much there. Well, I can't because I've never been to California, but Florida has, I know California's got beaches. I know Southern California does. I'm not sure geographically, and I don't know if people like in Florida, they'll tack on other stuff to do in Florida other than just the theme parks. I'm not sure if that's like a habit trend in California, like what I've seen growing up in Florida. And for whatever, I don't know, I'm just like,
well, yes.
My brain is just regurgitating here. Like Vash, you can correct me on any of this. Is that Florida maybe? Is people are more willing to spend money in Florida because at least at least with Universal, they know they're getting bang for their buck. But then on top of that, aside from the theme park industry, you've got like the beaches and the cruise lines. But then California kind of has the same thing too. But I'm not sure how the two really compare. I mean, like, is the water any better over there than it is in Florida? I don't know.
Traffic, cost of gas, cost of hotels, and California loses. It just does. It's a damn shame, but it does. And the other thing about this thing about cutting out those weeknight events and cutting back the hours on weeknights, there was a time when you could say, well, you know what? Let's go to the haunted whatever on Wednesday or Thursday because it won't be as crowded as Saturday and Sunday and Friday. And if we stay there till midnight and we get a little slosh, we get up in the morning, we're feeling hungover, we'll just call in sick for that day. People can't do that anymore because do that too much and we don't need you that badly. Especially when you leave there at midnight and it's another 2-3 hours drive to get home.
So it's two different markets, very distinct, right? I think for the Southern California market, whether it's Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, Universal, it's all about annual pass holders and repeat visitation, right? It's all about getting people in there into seasons and getting people to come back year after year with new attractions, new experiences, and so forth. But it's all kind of locally driven, which versus in Florida, it's very much a tourist destination, the vacation kingdom kind of thing. It's people flying all over the world to actually see the locations and experiences in the Central Florida market, right? So for Epic Universe and Universal, they did gangbusters because they actually had a big draw that, really elicited the excitement of people all over the world. Versus Walt Disney World, they didn't really have anything, and I think that's reflected in the numbers, at least this season. But go ahead, please, Erika.
I was just wondering if it would be a fair statement to make if people are just, maybe it's more people it's just bang for their buck. If they know they're going to get some, like Universal's obviously bringing their game on, and people are willing to put their money. The IPs they've invested in are a lot more relevant to Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and quite possibly will grow to Gen Alpha's kids, whatever generation that's going to be. Gen Bravo, probably, if they're going to go that way. But I was just wondering if it was a fair statement to make that people are willing to invest more, I guess, in Florida than California. But I'm thinking it's more of just bang for your buck. People just aren't going to throw away their money, or they don't want to feel like they're just throwing away their money. So they're going to book a vacation where they know what they're getting. They're getting that value. Because Dollywood is even in that category. And so is Silver Dollar City.
Yep.
They're doing well.
Hugely in a new dark ride. They won't tell you what it is. They just tell you how much money they're spending and where it's going to be. And
Silver Dollar's adding resorts, and they're not small by any means. They're owned by the same corporate as Dollywood now. But I mean, they're not hurting either. So it just seems.
But that same company sold their investments in Southern California. They owned Wet n Wild and a couple of miniature golf things, and they're all gone. So
super tragic.
Well,
it's an interesting thing to see what happens. Just watch.
And we'll be here come hell or high water.
Yes, we will. And for some people, maybe it's their first time. Mark Fields coming in here with the 199. Hail to the 199. Power to the 199. First
Welcome,
time on your
Mark.
channel. Love the
Don't
panel.
Be a stranger. We love to have you here.
Yes,
You're super cool. He usually shows up during the gameplay show. So, Mark, always great to see you. And your little bird.
We're here all week. Try the
Such
veal.
a cute bird. Aww.
Very
Pirate
cool
hat,
indeed.
like the bar we were just talking about.
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you so much, Mark Fields. That is very much appreciated. And Cohen Film coming in here with the 499. Lou Wasserman will remember the chickens running around in the Knott's parking lot.
Cohen Film, I not only remember them, they were delicious.
They still do, by the way. They still roam around. It's another world, and that's very far.
Lou, is that how Popeyes was founded?
Hey, I had Popeyes for dinner too.
Popeyes is good stuff. Very much indeed.
I got Popeyes for the guys. I got me Panda Express.
She got the nice
bougie
stuff right there. Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't say it's bougie out here, but okay.
I'm imagining Panda Express in Germany. So, you would like the orange chicken, eh?
That's pretty much exactly what it is.
You will have rice and chow mein, and you will like it.
Cashier, I could tell she was new, and her English is not her first language.
Oh, God.
Yeah, either or on those, the rice or chow mein right there.
No, you can have
they're pretty strict over there in Germany. But go and Shogi, I like this comment right here. Thank you so much for modding for us, by the way. And to all of our mods, thank you so much for keeping that chat clean for us.
We love you, mods.
Disneyland isn't laid back anymore. Everything has such a steep price tag that it feels like a competition or a race. Universal offers the greater ability to chill through cost comparison. I do think that's correct right there.
Go and Shogi, you're right about the race thing. And you know what it reminds me of? It's what the Las Vegas Strip became. One of the last trips I took there with my father, he saw all those people dedicatedly marching up and down the Strip to see every last hotel. He said, that doesn't look like fun to me. That looks like, the bridge on the River Kwai. And now their attendance is off.
I was just reading an article.
There you go.
I'm not able to find it right now, but I was just reading an article about how, it's a downturn at Vegas right now.
It's kind of stabilizing and maybe coming back just a hair, but not a lot.
I didn't know that I didn't know Vegas was.
Oh yeah, they've been having trouble.
They've been having
really?
Yeah.
And we've talked about it before, how Disneyland's biggest competitor is Vegas. So
it is? I didn't know. It's all new to me. I didn't know that. Wow.
Vegas is the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so is San Diego, and so is Santa Barbara, and up there, the wine country up there.
Dude, Arizona needs a theme park. Don't they have any theme parks in Arizona? Or
You're trying to
Arizona.
build one, right?
We had
With
one
He-Man
once.
and
It was called Legend City, and it's.
I never even heard of that.
it seems a
Yeah.
legend.
That's probably
Nobody
why.
ever did either. That's the reason why it closed. But no, so yes, recalibrating here real fast. Sorry about that. The Vegas, right? Vegas has not been doing well at all, as we said before. Close competitor to Disney. And I was reading that article, and it was so profound because it was like, wow, like a lot of the issues that have been hurting Vegas, or at least cited by the author, a lot of those were what's kind of plaguing Disney right now. Overcharging, right? Removing perks,
Resort
not making it
fees.
resort fees, nickel and diming, not making it experience driven,
Vash, I love you dearly, but I have to correct you.
Please.
Just as I noticed somebody did in the chat on the previous show with Erika, these companies don't nickel and dime. They 5 and 10 and 50 and 100. I'm sorry, they don't know what a nickel is, and they wouldn't know what a dime was if it bit them in the magic whatever.
I see. It's a bunch of what is it? Abraham Lincoln's and
Benjamins.
Can't remember
right.
I can't remember the $10, but the Andrew Jacksons, let's say, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bunch of those. I
20 is Andrew Jackson.
well, yes, I can't. I can't remember the 10.
It's still not cheap to eat outside the
Grant?
park.
Is it Grant? Is that Grant?
I thought it was Benjamin Franklin.
Grant's the 50.
Grant's the 50.
That's so
What's the $10? Chat. We need your help right there. No. Anyway.
Anybody got $10? Take a look. We don't.
Hey, there's a lot of
Alexander
Benjis and
Hamilton.
Ulysses Grant.
Yeah, Hamilton. sure.
Hamilton. There
He
you
started
go.
the bank.
Wasn't there a Broadway play on that? Anywho's.
Does everybody know, by the way, this is an interesting little piece of historical curiosity. Do you know where the term Dixie came from for the South?
Please.
Because before there was a national currency, the banks all issued their own money. And the banks in New Orleans issued money in French denominations. And a 10 is DIX. And the riverboatmen who would go down the Mississippi with a load and get paid down in New Orleans would say, I'm heading down south to get me some Dixies. Because they couldn't pronounce D correctly. And that's why it became Dixie.
And that's why
And
it's
now you know
Dixieland.
the rest of the story. Yes.
Interesting. That is really interesting. Well, I tell you what, I mean, this
There's a
is
Sidney Sweeney Dixie Cup joke here, but I'm not going to make it. Anyway.
this has all been very illuminating, and I think a very great conversation right here. This
More
part of the
illuminating
theme
than
park.
the new lights in Big Thunder. Let's put it that way.
Well, yes, I do think that is the case, Lou, because having conversations on the economy and on these kind of macro issues right there that affect these places that we love, I think is just as vital as having conversations of stuff happening within them. So very, very cool, awesome stuff right there. But you know what? I think, Nolan, you just had an incredible video debut on your channel right
boy,
there.
is it good.
One that we've been waiting for a long, long time. Let's go ahead and hype it up
have
here
we.
on T3PO Live.
Oh man. Lou, thank you very much for the,
You
the
get
kind words
all
and the
kinds
subtle
of
hint.
forgiveness for the time it took because the quality is there. If it had come out
Thank you.
crappy,
No.
we wouldn't have forgiven you at all. But folks, if you haven't watched this, go watch it. And what really got me was when it was about, and he announced he finally had it premiered, I said, Gia, I hope you do kind of a Robert Stack in a trench coat in the fog kind of intro because it sounds like that kind of show. And lo and behold, except for the cowboy hat, you do. I was prescient and mind reading as to the style.
Did I detect Lorne in there doing some
Yeah,
voiceover?
Lauren's voice.
some
Everybody's
narration
voice but
for
mine,
you?
even though I often.
That was cool.
Oh no, Lou was in the Lou had done performance for my 7th episode actually, and I would love to get Lou's wonderful
Anytime.
talents back for another
Anytime.
day. 'cause-
Weddings, bar mitzvahs, Nolan Thunder videos, I'm available.
But yeah, no, there's some awesome people. We got Lauren Connor from the Genre Guys, wonderful series there. We got Trish from the Lost Guys. We got Kevin Apollo. We got
right.
crazy assortment of people here. Amazing people helping me out. This is a documentary on an experimental AI being built into a 1990s video game that may have been unstable that caused both seizures and stroke-like symptoms to the play testers. And I present it all in a kind of a docu-series type style, kind of like those UFO shows you used to see on History Channel, complete with an 80s synthesizer type music. It's a full little documentary, mockumentary on this game. The video is called Super Mario 64's Dark Secret. It's every copy personalized on my series called Lost in the Files. If that intrigues you, please check it out on my channel.
I don't care if you've never played a video game and don't care. You'll find this entertaining, enlightening, and amusing. And maybe a little scary.
Thank you. And it's coming from one of the smartest people out there, the accolades you're hearing right now. I mean, don't listen to my word. Listen to Lou. Lou's a smart dude. He's a smart cookie. So
I like
thank
good
you for
stuff.
everything, Lou.
That's all. I'm not that smart. I just like good stuff. And it's good
But
stuff.
yeah, it was about a 14 month long development, and major props to Vash for helping redirect it here last week. But yeah, no, it's been getting some traction, and I try to do the best I can. Even if you're not a gamer, I'm the type of person that I'll watch a documentary on paint drying if it's entertaining enough. I never thought I would watch an hour and something long video on Disney Fast Pass systems a few years ago, but there you
that
go.
was a good one.
And
I've seen
was a
that
great
one.
one.
yeah, I love it too. The Funk Land's great. And
And
this
like
I try to do,
everything that
so
takes
even if you're not
14 to
Nintendo,
16
please give it a
months to
chance.
gestate, what he said when it was done was ouch.
Oh man. But thank you
Good stuff,
everyone
Wolf.
for the kind feedback. I'm trying to do the best I can, keep this thing going as high in the views as you can. So if any of you guys have time, even if you're not interested in watching, I would appreciate a like, because it actually does make a difference on the YouTube traction.
You
It
bet.
really does, and I
You
appreciate.
And
Also
as
for
Adam
everyone.
once said to Eve, Nolan, you better stand back. I don't know how big this thing's going to get.
Well,
That's how good it is.
Wow.
I guess that brings us to Lou there. Lou, what do you got going on over there in your neck of the woods? Concern?
Today's pro show, what were there? 8,700 new memberships, thanks to a couple of generous people. So they're all going to get into the genre guys and be running up your butt, Vash, to say, where's the old ones? But I think Pro just put out Digstown and I forget what else. And we have more coming. We have more and more coming. Looking forward. Our next recording session is this Saturday. Yeah, I think so. And we're going to do a film noir series for a little bit. We're going to do The Blackbird, The Maltese Falcon. And we're also going to do Touch of Evil. Any movie where you can have Chuck Heston, Orson Welles, and Marlene Dietrich in the same movie, you got to watch it. And it's brilliant.
Fantastic.
And I have a certain association with the Blackbird because I own one. I went to a mystery weekend thing at the wonderful Mission Inn Hotel in Riverside one time, and I guessed who done it. And the prize was this exact replica made from the original mold of the Maltese Falcon. And so it's the stuff that dreams are made of, or plaster of Paris. I'm not sure which, but anyway.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Lou, so much for that. And you can also find Lou on Hollywood Back with Lou and You. That's on this channel right here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit the subscribe
It's the
button.
Lou and Vash show, and it's a great show. And we've been doing it now for 65, 70 episodes. We're well over a year. Oh my God. Who knew I had that much to say and you had that much to ask?
Exactly.
Well, if they knew us, they knew. But anyway.
It is great. It is fantastic. And by the way, if you want to ask a question for that show, well, it's going to be at T3P online at yahoo.com right there. Make sure you jot that down. Provide us your question. We're always answering some great stuff over there on Hollywood Backlit with Lou and You every single Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Live
Erika,
live
it is. Erika, what do you got going on here, neck of the woods? My damn.
Just stream surfing, and yes, I will be putting out some Halloween content because I know you guys like it. Woo! That's pretty much it. That's, same old. Find me here. Find me at Lorena Creole on her Resort Recon on Saturdays. Her Spice Lounge will resume after Labor Day.
I saw you on that stream the other day with Tom F. I saw you there. I'm like, that's our girl.
And yeah, and that's my channel. We just started it last year, and it's been slow going, but yes, I'm in the season. I'm in my season. I do want to pick up my camera and start, if anything, probably shorts first to kind of get my feet wet in it again, and then I'll do more like vlogs, which are a little bit more time consuming, but yeah.
I see. Well, I am excited for anything you decide to go ahead and bring out right there. But even if you don't bring out anything, I know there's a lot of great content.
Oh, do it live?
Yeah, do it live. The 199 with the mom. I had to do it live
O'Reilly
sound clip actually on my other audio interface, and I don't have it on here, which is very sad. But I'll go ahead and do my reenactment anyway. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. You know that's do it live there. We'll do it live, and yes, we will. We will do it live all the time. Thank you so much, the mom, for the 199. Hail to the 199, power to the 199. Thank you so much. Well, I think that just about concludes our show today. I was going to redirect you to maybe Nolan's new video, but YouTube Studio is currently down. I can't get a response for it at all
have the link
to
up
do
on the
anything.
screen, and they can go find it at a time of their choosing, right?
Yes. Well, let's go ahead and share the link for that right now in the chat. There you go. That latest link right there.
Thank you,
from
Vash.
that pod place. Yes, is the link to Nolan's new video. Awesome stuff. I know he's been working on it a long time. You've been hearing about it for a long time if you're a fan of this show. So
Let
very,
me tell
very
you
cool
how long
to
he's
see
been
that.
working on it. The first line of the show is, "In the beginning, there was darkness."
Exactly.
In the beginning, there was Mario.
It has been some time right there, and well, you know that's
Come a long way getting from there to here.
yes, indeed. All right. Here we go. Let's go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for subscribing, liking, doing all those great things. That really, really does help us out. And yeah, we'll be back T3PO Live. I might actually be in my regular digs. I don't know. Who knows? Not
Better check
I'm
that
playing
boob
it by the day.
status first.
Yes.
You don't want to
We'll
go
be
back
back.
to True Grit.
True grit indeed. Thank you so much, guys. We will see you all very shortly, very soon with, that Park Place, actually, and the Pro Show tomorrow night, and that Park Place on Thursday. Very cool stuff. We'll see you then. Take care, guys. Thank you. And, may the force be with you. I don't know. We have to come up with a sounder off. I'm not sure.